Thank you. Why is the drive-thru discriminating against tall vehicles? It's not right. I don't like it. I don't agree with it.
These country roads take me home to the place.
All right, we're passing through Charleston, West Virginia. We're halfway, 3 hours and 15 minutes to go. We're making good time.
Hold your breath.
All right, we're going into Walmart. We're gonna get some firewood, some food, and then head to our site. It's like 45 minutes out. And we're in Marion, Virginia, by the way. So the Walmart we went to wasn't a supercenter, which means they didn't have groceries. So we're here at Ingles, which I have never been to before. It's like a Mark's if you're from Northeast Ohio like we are. That plays really good music too. We just passed a church that said on the sign, established in 1775, which is literally a year before the US was even the US. So we're climbing this hill, going towards WhiteTop Mountain where we're gonna stay. And the van is almost maxed out on throttle and I'm going 38 miles an hour. It's a very steep road. All right, so we're off the main road and we're onto the gravel road that leads us up to the top of the mountain. The sign for WhiteTop Mountain is riddled with bullet holes for some reason. Does that get you excited or scared?
Why is there bullet holes in the sign?
Look at those views. That's insane. Look at all the clouds. And we're like one of 4 vehicles that are even up here. We're so high up that these clouds are literally like passing over our head. Okay, so the way that we've parked the van is all the wind is coming from this direction. So we've parked the van so that it's basically a buffer for the wind. If we decide to sit out here or open the doors, do whatever we want on this side, we're pretty much good. Very little wind. Just about perfect, I'd say. Okay, so this right here, that's the Appalachian Trail, or part of it. Over there is Tennessee, and over there is North Carolina, and we're standing in Virginia. So it's panoramic views of 3 different states.
What's that?
It's just grape juice.
Oh, okay.
All right, but penne Alfredo with chicken and broccoli. It's like a solid maybe 5.5 out of 10. What would you say?
Give it a 6.
Good morning. It's about 7:30 a.m. This morning the clouds have cleared and the views are just gorgeous. I'm gonna climb up on top of the van so I can get a good panorama of where we stayed. Just need to get one last video of this before we go. So So we're at the Grayson Highlands Visitor Center, and then we're heading to the Massey Gap Trailhead where we're gonna do the Appalachian Trail to Mount Rogers. We're at Massey Gap. We're starting the trail to Mount Rogers. They got the old log-weighted pulley system for the gate to keep the horses in. What a neat contraption. So we're now on the Appalachian Trail. We'll be taking this the rest of the way up to Mount Rogers. Wow, it's a 500-mile marker. That's so cool. I mean, that's an insane milestone if you're doing this whole thing. So we're a little less than half a mile away from the summit, and I don't expect the summit to be any cool views because it's covered in trees, but we're doing it for the state high point for Virginia, so it's still gonna be cool regardless.
Getting my action shot.
There it is, state of Virginia's high point, Mount Rogers. We did it, Nicole, we did it. It's probably one of the best viewing angles for the van, don't you think? It looks beautiful from this angle. We made it back. Woo! Cole's borderline dead. Let's see. 23,800 steps. Not as many as I expected, to be honest with you. But it was a good hike.
A lot of rocks.
Now it's time to open your. So we preemptively bought additional quesadillas when we were on our way through West Virginia. And we were like, I don't know when we'll need them. But here we are. I've never been so happy to have a spare quesadilla on hand. Cheers.
Cheers. So we are in Damascus, and they're celebrating, if you see that sign, Appalachian Trail Days.
It's like a camper convention. I forget the name of this place. Something country store. Lady at the counter said this place has the best burgers in town. We'll be the judge of it.
Your burger looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. I haven't been all around town to say that this is the best burger, but it's very good. Okay, tonight we're at a campsite that we reserved. So it's like an established campground. And it's honestly probably one of the nicest spots here. I mean, right down this way, it's like access to the water. Also just want to give a big shout out to the van because she's been killing it this whole trip. Nicole and I are about to blow up the paddleboard, but don't worry, it's only going to take like 5 seconds. See? 5 seconds, all done. Good morning. We're about to leave our campground. We're still at Jacobs Creek. It was awesome. I highly recommend this place. We're going to Mount Mitchell today. We should be taking a pretty big stretch of the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's going to be on our way towards Asheville. So pretty much everything from here to there is all Blue Ridge. Gonna get some of our fresh water filled up while we're here, because this was right on the way out, so it just made sense. All right, so we're making a pit stop to La Bella Nail Spa. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to Los Jalapenos, Mexican restaurant. That place was so good. Really hit the spot. There it is. Highest peak east of the Mississippi. What a view. Well, the van made it to the highest point in the eastern United States. Let's see if it can get back down. We're in Asheville. We're staying one night here in this DoubleTree. There's not a lot of places that you can park for free within Asheville, but if we could get a hotel for cheap, we figured we would. I guess at DoubleTree they give you a free cookie and $30 to spend at the market because Nicole's dad is a Diamond member.
Shout out to Rod.
So we just got some snacks, some chips, whatever. And you know we had to cop those Mima's cheese titties.
They're crispy, cheesy treats you'll crave.
I feel like I'm in a prohibition era bar.
Right.
So when choosing your gargoyle, you need to make sure that you're choosing the correct species. This looks not the gargoyle. This doesn't have a species.
Time is 12:26. We can't find a lift home.
Or an Uber.
Or an Uber. Literally, we've been waiting for like 20 minutes trying to get a ride and there's nothing available. The Hilton that we're staying at is 2.5 miles away, 54-minute walk, and we're just going for it.
We're gonna make it happen.
By God, we made it. Almost 3 miles.
It's 1:30.
Please learn from our mistakes. If you're ever in downtown Asheville, do not depend on the rideshare services.
They will not pick you up.
Hooked us up big time with the hotel breakfast. We got your over easy eggs, your fruit, your dry goods, your waffles, your bacon, eggs, French toast, biscuit and sausage, orange juice, coffee, oats.
Sticks out.
All right, so we're at the Biltmore Estate, which is the largest privately owned estate in the United States. We're gonna do a tour of the mansion. So the mansion was cool. It was really pretty fancy, pretty lavish. I wouldn't say it was worth $120 a person, but it was cool to see it because it's kind of one of a kind in the US. You really just don't see anything like this out here.
It should have been like maybe $45 or $50.
I agree. Some would say the Biltmore Estate is a real historic piece of beauty. And some would say the van is also. the New River Gorge Bridge that we're on top of. Look at that view. We're at our campsite. It's right outside of Summersville Lake. It's actually off of the lake. We're right by the water. We had a pretty long day that I think I'll tell you about tomorrow. But right now, let's just get the campfire going. Okay, so Nicole and I are gonna go up to AutoZone really quick, and we're gonna get a part that we need for the van. But I also wanted to explain a little bit about what happened yesterday, and I guess why we're going to AutoZone in the first place. But before I started up, I wanted to just check the fluids. All right, looks like it might be a little on the low side for oil, but nothing crazy. It does have an oil leak. It's just an old van. Gaskets are old, so it leaks over time. So I also want to check my coolant. Oh, we're good. We haven't lost any coolant. I thought for sure going over those mountain grades it would have spilled over a little bit, because I don't have an overflow tank on this van. It just kind of spills out onto the street. That's how they were 36 years ago. So I thought for sure we'd be a little low. So for those people that are a little more mechanically inclined that know about cars, not me, this is what happened. I turned off the key to the ignition yesterday while we were at a rest stop, and the van just kept cranking over as if it was trying to start despite the keys not being in the ignition at all. So I called my mechanic Ron. Shout out to Ron. He told me that it's probably the starter solenoid. So he showed me exactly how to start it by bypassing the solenoid. So now what I have to do, I just have to touch the starter wire that I have taped up right here to the solenoid for enough time for the van to be able to start. And it's gonna spark because there's a lot of amperage going through it to start the van, but it should only need to be held there for a few seconds while the van actually starts. So let's see. There you go. All right, we got the solenoid. Let's try to put this thing on there. And we're back up and running. Got the new starter solenoid installed. There she is. Everything's back together. We're good to get on the road and do some paddleboarding. Okay, we're at Pirates Cove. About to put on our swimsuits, do some paddleboarding, and maybe some climbing. We don't have our climbing shoes, so we're just gonna be going barefoot, and it might actually be really hard to do climbing, so we'll see. Just walking across a log with 30 pounds of paddleboard on my back. All right, we're docked.
One!
Oh, it's freezing. Oh, it's so cold.
So we paddleboarded, we checked out the rocks. I tried to climb some stuff, but it was really, really hard. It was like you had to start the climb from the paddleboard while you're on the water. And honestly, it wasn't easy climbing. It was really difficult stuff.
Oh God, not these types of roads again.
It's like the road was built right underneath the rocks. It's so cool.
How are the brakes?
They're 500 degrees.
Nice.
What a view. We've decided to immerse ourselves in the local cuisine, trying some very exotic foods. Just gotta hit the corner, or I won't be satisfied. It's about to be it right here. Oh! Well, this marks the end of a successful 6-day-long van trip. It's going to be about 1,400 miles by the end of it, and all things considered, it went very well, very smoothly. We had our hiccups, we had some issues, but it was a really good time, and I know that Nicole and I both enjoyed it a lot. Appalachia has a lot to offer. Some of the places we visited just blew our minds. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time.